Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Chloe Olson, and I am an executive education program advisor for the Masters in Innovation and Entrepreneurship at HEC Paris. Innovation and entrepreneurship play a crucial role in creating value and ensuring the success and sustainability of companies throughout the world. And that's exactly why we have designed this program to meet the specific needs of leaders in charge of innovation and business development, as well as experienced or aspiring entrepreneurs. Today, we are presenting the program experience, which will tell us more about innovation and entrepreneurship. Just a few housekeeping items before we begin. I mentioned earlier, if everybody could cut their microphone, just put themselves on mute. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the question box in your Zoom control panel. I'll bring them up during the presentation if necessary, but keep in mind we will have time reserved for questions at the end. Today, we will be hearing an overview of our MSIE program featuring Cheryl Morisseau and Shumi Das, two of our program managers. We will then hear from Mark Beretta, MSIE professor, CEO, and founder of Inis Alga. And lastly, we will hear from Cohort 3 alumni, Eddie Chan and Tilda Peterson, after which we will open up the floor to any questions that you may have. And now, without further ado, we will turn time over to Shumi and Cheryl, our incredible MSIE program directors.
Thank you, Chloe. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Cheryl, and I am one of the program managers of the MSIE program.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Shomi. I'm another program manager for the MSIE program. So Cheryl takes care of the uneven cohorts, and I take care of the even cohort numbers. So welcome, everyone, to the webinar.
That's right. And just to give you a quick overview of what our role is as program managers, we are here to accompany you, the students, from A to Z, okay? So from the moment you have your onboarding until the moment you receive your diploma, we act as the main point of contact for all students. We organize events, be it in person when we can have in-person events or online. We're also busy organizing live sessions, office hours with the professors. We really take care of the program from the fundamentals phase and throughout the team project phase.
So you're going to see us a lot once you're in the program, whichever cohort, depends on which cohort you join. So you'll see us a lot. And most of the times it will be us, if you have any problems in terms of Coursera, any technical issues you are facing, or anything to do with your program, anything to do with the exams, the contents, it has to come via us in a way. You'll also have a lot of opportunity to be in touch with our professors, for the content specifically, like Cheryl already mentioned, the live sessions where you'll be in touch with professors. You could talk to them, ask them questions, express your concerns. So yeah, that I guess that would be something that would be very interesting for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and one thing I'd like to add is as program managers, we may seem to be more present during the beginning phase, so during the fundamental phase, only because that's when students are really testing the waters with the program. They're learning how to navigate all of our different channels, be it Coursera, Slack, Zoom. Now everyone is very familiar with Zoom, but we're especially present during the fundamentals phase and then during the team project phase when everyone is comfortable with the program, has formed their teams, and everything is kind of rolling by itself. We're still there with students throughout the entire team project phase, but students are more autonomous during this phase.
Yeah, I guess we kind of did give you an overview. We still would have time for the question and answer, right? So, any question and answer you have pertaining to the program structure or anything we can help you with, we'll be happy to answer at the end of the session. And Cheryl, if you want to add anything, or we can let Mark introduce himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess Q&A at the end. Generally speaking, when students have questions about anything regarding the program, we are obviously here for students, given that we know the program very well. But yes, Mark Beretta, who is one of our professors of the team project phase. He's also very present with the cohorts throughout the entire team project phase. So Mark, over to you.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. Thank you very much, Shomi. And thank you very much, Chloe, for organizing all this. And thank you to the whole team. You're doing a fantastic job. So first of all, this is what I was asked for, to discuss about my role and to give you a flavor of what MSIE may look like. So what about my role? In a few words, my role is to make you discover the best version of yourself. And maybe something else is, I will say a few words about the program. Let me introduce myself very briefly. So I'm Mark. I spent 15 years in finance before realizing that what I enjoyed most in finance was people. So I decided to switch from finance to what I've been doing now for 15 years, which is, first of all, I teach management and leadership and personal development at HCC Paris since 2009. So I'm engaged in MSIE program and other programs. I am a master certified coach by the International Coaching Federation. And as Chloe told you, I am the CEO and the founder of Inisala, which is a coaching company. So I started my own company. So I know what starting a company is as well. I have a question for you, and I would like you to use the chat, please. The first question I have for you is, what makes a great entrepreneur a great entrepreneur? So don't think too much, just share what comes to your mind. So what makes okay, taking decisions, curiosity, resilience, very good. What else? Okay, identifying opportunities, I like that. Ambition, yes. Vision, fantastic, of course. Perseverance, value proposition, fantastic, okay. Good. Wow, you're in good shape, fantastic, good. Not giving up, yeah, I agree with this one. Good, fantastic, thank you very much. I have another question for you. What makes a bad entrepreneur a bad entrepreneur? So I would like to share your thoughts. Can you please share your thoughts? What makes a bad entrepreneur a bad entrepreneur? What do you think? Giving up too soon, yes. Walk alone, fully agree with this one. Lack of passion, I agree. Not listening, fantastic. I agree. Not even starting, I agree. Lack of vision, not adapting, very good. Yeah, myopic, very good. Stubborn, fantastic, wow. Very good. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Procrastination, very good, excellent. Now, if you step back from all the words you have seen on the positive side and on the negative side, what would you say? So this will be my last question to you. So what comes to your mind? So again, step back to all the words you have seen. What do you want to say? What comes to your mind? Anything that strikes you? Just one or two words. What comes to your mind? Adventure, very good. I agree with that, Grégoire. Future, very good. What else? Journey, Stefan, very good. Open-minded, fantastic. Change agent, innovation, idea, vision. Better world, yes. Disruptive, yes. MSIE, ta-da! You say it, fantastic. So my friends, you know, this is why we have started this program. As Chloe said, this is a program for you if you want to learn how to be more innovative and how to be an entrepreneur, right? And I share with you here all the courses you will go through if you are one of us. And as you will see, you will have some of these focusing on hard skills, finance, of course, marketing, of course, and some of them focused on soft skills. And as you saw, and this is what I would like to tell you, you know, all the words you put on the chat, most of them are related to soft skills. Soft skills this is absolutely key today, soft skills. And as you can see here, this is what we call the fundamental phase, and then you've got the degree phase, also called the project phase. So at this stage, you've got several courses, and at this stage, you've got other courses, but above that, you've got what we call a project. And we would like you to work around a real project. Why that? Because we have the perception that the best way of learning is learning by doing. And so the purpose of this is to apply everything you have learned in all these courses in a project. So as you can see here, I'm here. So I am in charge of the team working and leadership course at the very beginning of the project phase. And all the projects have a coach, and I am the coach of the coaches. And today I will share with you, there are 30 coaches because there are 30 teams. So let me focus. I would like to share with you what happened or what is happening today for cohort 6. One of you mentioned the word journey, and I fully agree with that. This is a fantastic transformational journey. Yes, it is a journey. So the first step is at the very beginning of the project phase. The first step is to choose a project. How do you choose? You will choose the project. I mean, the participant will choose the project. How? Based on what, according to them, according to participants, what projects are the most appealing and the most realistic, the best ideas, okay? So step number 1, you will choose projects around what we call a beauty contest. Why beauty contest? Because we would like you to tell us, according to you, what are the good project or the project that are that according to you that can have a future. Okay. When we have selected the project, when you have selected the project, we would like you to form teams around these projects with defining roles. As you can see here, Chief Executive, Technology Officer, Marketing Officer, and so on. Once you have selected the projects, once you have selected the teams, we would like you to choose your coaches, okay? Of course, I have selected the best coaches on earth for you, but I would like you to choose your own coaches, because this person will coach you for the rest of the year. And at the very end of this project phase, you will have what we call a final pitch. What is a final pitch? You will make a pitch to VCs and business angels, just to make sure that your idea is a good idea and this has a value for at least someone. And we wanted to do this. We wanted you to face VCs and business angels because we wanted you to face real people coming from the real world. And this is crucial for us. Let me give you some more information. I would like to make a focus on cohort 6. So cohort 6, 141 participants coming from 44 nationalities, 30 projects selected, 30 teams, and 30 coaches to coach the teams and to coach the projects. Very diverse, very international. Let me tell you something, and probably Tilde and Eddie can say a few words around that. You know, working in remote teams is not easy at all, because John is late. It's okay, day 1. It's okay, day 2. Day 3, you would like to kill John, because it's, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we have such a short period of time. We have a lot of pressure. Most of us, we have to take care of our job. We have to take care of our family. And so it requires discipline and it requires organization, no doubt. And probably Tilde and Eddie can say a few words around that. I would like to say a few words about my course. I will be super short, one slide. There are 4 parts about my course. The first one is around building a team. How to build a team. I share on my course some tips to make the best recruitment, or at least not to avoid mistakes. And I share with you some tips about a charter. And I share this strong recommendation to all the teams: build a charter, because the charter gives you, you know, the rules for the rest of the year. Okay, so this is crucial. This should be very short, very simple. For example, I'd like to share with you one rule. We start on time, we end on time. If one of us cannot attend, no worries, send an email. This kind of things, very simple, but absolutely key in a remote team. My second topic is around how to mobilize a team. And this is around connection and around respect. And we should understand that we've got different perception of the world, and we have to understand that we have different needs around this MSI program. And we should put this on the table. Otherwise, it can be very complex to deal with that. So how to mobilize a team? You can mobilize a team if you know their drivers and if you know what can be appealing to them. My third topic is around overcoming obstacles. And my advice around this one is humility. You know, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, and we have to deal with imperfection. And you will go through ups and downs, no doubt. How you celebrate your success and how you overcome obstacles. Ask for help if need be. This is one of you said that, by the way. Ask for help if need be. Speak to your coach. Share your vulnerabilities. This is key to overcome obstacles, and you are not alone. And the last one is how to celebrate success. Be grateful. And, you know, I coach a CEO one day and I asked him, do you share feedback to your teams? And he said, of course not. They do their job. This is what they're paid for. I said, okay, now I understand what you've got problems in your team because you don't share feedback. We all need feedback. And the worst thing you can do to someone is no feedback at all. Because if I don't receive any feedback at all, this means that I don't exist. We all need feedback. So I think it's probably the best way to celebrate success and to be thankful for the work, for the commitment, and for the engagement in the process. At the end of the session, I share with you a leadership model. I don't like the word model because I think model means that you should stick to something. I prefer the word landmarks, just to give you some tips you should have in mind. One, we are all stars. This is my belief. We are all stars. And the key here is awareness, especially self-awareness. Know yourself well. This is key. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Again, no one is perfect. And behind this, there are 5 dimensions. The first one is agility. Today, if you're not agile, you are dead. Agility is a must for all of us, no matter what job you do. And the second one is eco-friendly versus ego-friendly. Ego-friendly means me, I. We don't care about you. We do care about how do you do to take care about yourself, about the people around you, about the planet. This is crucial today. We ask you to be both demanding and kind, not demanding or kind, but demanding and kind. And this is not easy, of course. You should be demanding with yourself, with your partners, but you should be kind as well. I think kindness is key. Be kind, be kind, be kind. And the last one is be able to be co-visionary. By do I mean by co-visionary? We don't know what the future may look like. I don't know what the future may look like. How to solve that? You can do this in co-development or working in a team and try to imagine what can be the future. This is how to use collective intelligence. So this is how we can envisage the future. And I put here dotted lines. No, this is why you're joining or you may join MSIE, to know, to learn. Once you know, do. If you know and if you don't do, you waste your time. So once you know, do. I know smoking is not good for me, so I should stop smoking. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. What should I know? You know, smoking is not good for me because I still smoking. So once I know, I do. Once I know, once I do, I be. I think leadership is a question of being, more than knowing, more than doing. My friend, this is what I wanted to share with you. And this will be a fantastic opportunity for you to share what you like to share with Tilde and Eddie, two our great leaders. And Tilde and Eddie, you are great persons. I know, I'm sure you know that I like both of you very much. And I'm sure that our friends today would be so happy to share and to listen from you. How was your experience? So this is my first question to you. How was it?
Eddie, you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So welcome, everybody. My name is Tilde Peterson. I am from Laguna Beach, California. I am the oldest person that ever applied to be in the MSE, and I'm also the oldest person that ever graduated. I entered the program at 67, and I graduated at 69. Now, you might say to yourself, what is a woman that age going to school? Why would anybody want to do a program that late in life? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I have a dream for a business, which I had been doing for many, many years, which was lucrative. It was fun. It was great, but I was by myself and I wasn't able to scale. I had been in a lot of new business development over the years. I did a lot of what they call technology transfer at different universities. And it was a very, very wonderful experience. But I knew that our company, the company that I had started, needed a boost. And there was only one way to do it. And that was for me to get out of my own way. So I flew to Paris and I had an interview. And what was supposed to be 20 minutes turned into 2 hours. And I came home and applied. And in December of 2018, I began this journey. The journey has been exceptional. It is nothing that I expected, and it's everything more. Eddie and I both became class officers, so I am what they call student delegate number 1, and Eddie is student delegate number 2 for the cohort 3. And we loved every minute of being leaders and actually being team members with the other 70-some people that we graduated with. At the end of the program, we were exploded by COVID. I know many of you might be on this call today because COVID has turned your life upside down, as it has for not probably any individual in the world has not been affected by it somehow. We were deeply, deeply affected by it at the end. We did not graduate. We didn't walk down the aisle. We had school extended so that we could get our classes done. And in the middle of all of that, a professor said to me, you know what, Till, you're pretty smart. Maybe you should think about getting a PhD. And I thought I was going to have whiplash. And I said to this professor, have you lost your mind? He goes, no, I just think you're smart. I think you should go get a PhD and run your company. So I actually live in Toulouse, France, and I'm a first-year PhD candidate at the Toulouse School of Management. So when I tell you, when I joined the MSIE, that was not a future that was planned on by a long shot. And that the MSIE gave me the wherewithal, the strength, the courage, the background, the support to go do things I thought I would never, ever do. And I'm very privileged still at this time to be doing them with Eddie Chan. So Eddie, go ahead. Why don't you share?
Okay, first, Tilde is our warrior in the class. She always helps us. And, when she was studying in the MSIE program, she was in California and I'm in Hong Kong. So basically we run a 24/7 support team to support our classmates to work on the project and make sure they don't have any issues on the Coursera. And then let me talk about a little bit about my background. I'm a chief investment officer in a local consulting company in Hong Kong, and my team help our clients to manage their portfolio. And a part of the portfolio is the VC portfolio. We look at the startup projects, conduct due diligence, and provide recommendation on whether to invest the startup projects. So when we evaluate the startup projects, we look at them from investors' standpoints, such as the fund invest profitability, return on investment, etc. And I know entrepreneurship is much more than that. So that's why I want to see from the entrepreneurship standpoint, not just the investor standpoint. So that's why I joined the program. And I'm very lucky enough to meet Hildy, Cheryl, and Professor Mark Boretta. And I know I learned a lot from them, yes.
Well, thank you both, Eddie and Tilda, for taking the time to tell us a little bit more about your experience in the program and all that you continue to accomplish after graduation. What we are going to do is I'd just like to ask a few questions to each of you, some of our most asked questions to help our audience understand your experience in the program a bit better. And my first question is actually for both of you. If you could just answer it quickly, is why did you apply to HEC's MSc in Innovation and Entrepreneurship? Eddie, why don't you get us started?
First, HEC Paris is the best school in Europe. That is the best one. If you look at my LinkedIn, you know where I'm studying right now, and I can tell HEC is the best school in Europe, okay? And don't mention my school right now. And then a second, because this program is entrepreneurship, they teach a lot of really hands-on experience. And also they give you the knowledge and how you apply, and give you a platform to how to apply it. Actually, it's very valuable. And that's it. And how about Hildy?
So I was always very clear. I went to Cornell University in Ithaca, New York as an undergraduate. And when I came out, I was very clear I didn't want an MBA. I wasn't interested in a track that would have me be the CEO of what I call regular like regular companies. I love regular companies. I was in business for decades. They paid my rent because they were my clients. But I love entrepreneurship, and I especially love product disruption. And when I found out about the MSIE, I almost fell over because Tom asked.
You know what, Tildy? I think you're cutting out a little bit.
This one of the professors. I'm sorry.
Continue on, you just cut out.
Yeah, I became close to one of the professors that started the program, and I became very clear that I was in the right place because I didn't have the skills to take this small company and scale it, and HEC did. And I knew that if I was humble, as Mark talks about, if I had my ears open and if I was willing to work hard, that HEC, both from the program, from the other participants, and from the professors, I might be able to go where I wanted to get to. And that was the impetus for applying.
Thank you for your answer on that. My next question is one we actually get quite a bit, and it's going to be directed towards you, Eddie. I know a little bit the answer, but I'd love to hear you talk a little bit more about it. Did you work full-time during the program? And if so, how did you manage the workload of doing a full-time job alongside a master's?
I worked full-time, and I was, at that time in 2018, my new baby girl just born. And then what else? I also work in a local service for the local community. So at that time, I need to manage my time. I make sure that I finish everything by Friday. And then I have Saturday and Sunday to like maybe some time for my family. So I think HEC Paris, the content in their videos is a very high quality. They teach you the material, you can easily understand it. And then the most difficult part, I think, is the assignment. But actually, the assignment itself is not really that bad. You just need some time to make sure what you understand and then apply at the end of because each week you have one assignment for each week. It's a small assignment. It's not a big one, but they test you what you learn in that week. And actually, it's very useful. I learned a lot in the assignments. Yes.
Great. Yeah, that's something we definitely emphasize, that it's completely doable. And, a majority of our students do work full time while pursuing the master's. I would next like to hear a little bit more about the project phase, and more specifically, the project that I know you both worked on together during the project phase of Cohort 3.
All righty. So when Mark talks about a beauty contest, he isn't lying. I ran around Southern California doing this little video talking about the company making time. And it's kind of cute. Every once in a while, I go back and look at it and go, God, I can't believe I put that together by myself. But I started making some phone calls. I called some of the other members of my cohort and I said, listen, I like the way you think. I like some of the things you've said in class. I've read some of your work because we do peer reviews. We grade each other's work. I said, I'd really like you to be on my team. Will you promise me that when you look at my video, you'll give it a real look at? Because I'd really like to work with you. And then I called Eddie and told him he had no choice. Eddie had to be on my team or we weren't going to talk anymore. That took care of Eddie. But one day in July, the screen went dead and Cheryl said, group number 16. And when the group came up, were 3 other people that I so respect and so love and was so excited about. It was Eddie, Alejandra, and Bali. And I knew in the minute that happened that we had 4 team members that could take making time and really do something brilliant with it. And believe it or not, for all of you who are still here on the phone with us right now, our project is actually live. We are going in the ground here in France right now. And we pivoted twice since COVID began. So it's called a P2. We pivoted twice, but the new pivot is extremely exciting. And as you can tell from our title, we work with the area of time. Most people think that time is time management, and it isn't. And we have a scientific way of training people to get more done every day. So we're live, we're still working. We have a board of advisors. We're just cooking. It's great. And it all started one day in July.
Wow, I love to hear that you've continued that project even after graduation. We're running towards the end of our session, and certainly the questions that I just have a few more for the both of you, and then we'll open it up to everybody. And I can see there are already some questions in the chat box that we'll certainly get to. But my next question is one for Eddie. And the question is, why get an MSIE and not an MBA? What is, the main difference to you in between those 2 degrees?
MSIE is not just a degree. Actually, I learned a lot from a professor in the HEC, but I also learned a lot from my peers because they are from different countries, have different background and culture, and they also have they are in different professionals. And just Tildy mentioned before, in our team, we have a doctor. It's a real doctor working in a hospital, and we talk to like different people inside the class and to how to say it, to learn from each other. This is a very valuable. We know in the MBA, they focus on consulting. They want to go to the consulting business. And it's totally different. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that leads me to my next question, because I know, Eddie, that you are now actually pursuing an MBA, is what have you both accomplished since graduation, and how has the program helped you reach those goals?
For me, actually, I in my work, in the COVID, I mean, when we graduate, we under in the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And actually I help I finished for my company. I helped my company finish 5 deals for 5 startups companies after graduation, and I helped them to finish the seed round and the Series A round. And actually, it's very interesting. And also, I apply what I learned in the MSIE program in my project evaluation, such as look at their business model canvas and checking their patterns, etc. And yeah, and then how about you, Tildy?
I think for me, there's a couple of things. First off, this conversation I had with this professor in the evening where he said, gee, I think you should go get a PhD. I told him he needed to go get a drink. But yet he sparked something in me. So I kind of ran around for a month looking at doctoral programs in France, because he said the best PhD you can get is in France. And lo and behold, he wrote my recommendation. I was accepted to 2 universities in France, and I'm at Toulouse School of Management. And I love every minute of it, because part of my getting my PhD is in order to prove the scientific basis of what we work with in our company. So I'm not only just the CEO, I'm also the head of research and development. So in order to have some clout, in order to have some real depth in that area, he felt it would be good for me to get the PhD. So I'm doing both simultaneously. So for me, it's just like being the Energizer Bunny. I wake up every morning, go out and do what I got trained in the MSIE, go to school at Toulouse. And so far it's working. I'm really blessed, really blessed.
Great. Well, thank you so much. We are now going to open the floor up to any questions that the participants may have. You can direct your question to one of our speakers in particular, or you can open up the question to the floor. There already are some questions in the chat box, and I think we'll just start with those. First from Animesh asking, I have a small scale industry. What can be a benefit to join AGC? Mark, do you maybe want to take the lead on this one?
I think Tilde can answer this question more than them.
For those of you who have small businesses, thank you, Mark, I appreciate it. For any of you who have a small business, you need to get your application in like this week and don't dawdle around, because it's invaluable. If you want to, it's okay not want a big company or a medium-sized company. If you want to do great business as an entrepreneur in a small industry, then you want to be in this. And you.
Tilde, I think you've cut out again.
Oh, darn it. Eddie, if you can finish out what I'm saying, if you have a small company, you want to do this.
Because if you are a small company, you don't have the resources to make it big by yourself. You need the other company to help you to form an alliance or a group to scale up your business. Actually, this is exactly what we learned in the HEC Paris.
Great.
So
Eddie,
if I may just to add one word here, you know, we accept people who have already started their company, small company, of course. We accept people who have an idea. We accept people who have no idea.
And serial entrepreneurs as well, Mark.
Serial entrepreneurs as well, absolutely. But why do I say that? Because, you know, some people I talked with, you know, said, well, I had this idea, probably I may launch this in 2 or 3 years, but I'm not sure I'm ready. So just want to learn how to be an entrepreneur. So this is what I wanted to add.
Great. We'll move on to the next question. Are there aspects of our learning that we can apply to the business? My issue, sorry, the chat box moved. My issue is scaling the business, and the programs I've done have taught theory only. Cheryl, do you maybe want to talk about ability to apply learning to a current business, or the division between theory and application?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Eddie and Tilde can probably respond better than I can because they've actually done it. But what I've heard from our participants is, for example, even those who pitch a project and their project may not be chosen. Before, we've had a webinar with 2 participants, one whose project was chosen, the other whose project was not chosen. even the person whose project was not chosen said that he was able to take the theory and apply it directly to his own company on the side. So he had the experience of participating in his team project, in his MSIE team, and applying that to his own company.
Certainly, that's something I think about a lot, is that if your project is for some reason not chosen during the project-based period, it gives you two invaluable pieces of learning. The first is maybe your pitch wasn't as effective as you thought it was. And the second is maybe your idea is not as strong as you thought it was. And so it really makes you go back and reconsider this project idea that you felt so passionate about. Moving on to the next question, is there any live classroom throughout part 1, 10 fundamental courses, in which we can interact with the lecturers? Yes, there will be a minimum of 1 live session per course in both parts. So both in part 1 and in part 2, as well as office hours for the professors and a Slack group in which you can interact with the other students. And that's really your first point of contact for any questions that you may have. Next question, are lectures pre-recorded lectures or are they live? They will be pre-recorded, but as I said, you'll have this 1 live session per course, and some courses may have more than 1 live session. It's really up to you to manage your time within a given week. So it's not as if every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. you have to sign on and attend class, but rather it's up to you to manage those 15 to 20 hours of when you can watch the pre-recorded lectures, complete the assignments, do all the work related to the program.
Chloe, do you mind? I'll just add something. So the pre-recorded lectures are, of course, those you will find in Coursera, in the course itself, okay? And of course, you can watch those at your own convenience. There are hard deadlines, so just, be aware that assignments are due every week. And so you must try and fit in those lectures during the week. For the live sessions, in most courses, there are 2 live sessions, and in some even 4. Okay, and then as of cohort 7, and Tilde and Eddie may kill me for saying this because they didn't have it in cohort 3, but as of cohort 7, we now also have office hours with the professors. That was one of the big requests of students, is to have more interaction, especially with the professors. And so some professors are available for 2 additional hours at different times of day. For instance, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, or late, early evening the next week. And it's an open group office hour with the rest of your cohort members. And it's really the time for students to go in and ask the professors questions directly.
Great, and we have another question. Can you please give some examples of projects in the second part? Well, I know we had Eddie and Tilde talk about their project specifically, so maybe Tilde can talk a little bit more about some cohort 3 projects that you.
Yeah, I was jumping up and down. So we just had a C3 Land. He's from Washington, D.C. He and his team put together a co-living project. They were looking at Barcelona, Spain, and they were very interested in young professionals and in graduate students who wouldn't really fit in a dorm because they're in their late 20s, early 30s, coming back to get a PhD, and they wanted a decent place to live that was like part of this nomadic culture. Well, lo and behold, France gave him a talent visa, and they're coming to Toulouse because it looks like this is going to be where they're going to build their first property, because we have 135,000 students that live here in this town. So Chris and Suresh got together, made the application to the French government, got accepted. We're so excited for them. They are just popping a gasket. They're really great. Another project was a lady who lives in Kenya, who is working with local Kenyan women to develop the avocado market so that these ladies can have their own avocado groves and make enough money to feed their families so they don't have to be dependent on their men and the work that their men do all the time. That's a great project that's still going on.
Great. Next, we have what happens if someone misses a live session. Cheryl, would you want to address that question?
Yeah, I just chatted it, but all live sessions we record and then we post them in the course in question. So you can, of course, view them at your own convenience after. However, these are live sessions. This is a class with a professor. We want to see you there asking questions. Otherwise, the professors will give their lectures. They have everything prepared, but they really want you to participate. And we want to see students there. And that is really what makes this program, I think, different from other online programs, is that it's so interactive. So we're waiting for you to come to live sessions.
Okay, next we have a question about timing. So if you are ahead in session 2, for example, or you've moved ahead in the courses, would you be able to jump ahead from the other students? And the short answer to that is no. This program depends a lot on the feedback from other students. So you'll have evaluations every week. Sometimes those will be quizzes, sometimes they will be peer-to-peer evaluations. And so this program has really been structured to allow that learning to happen in tandem with the other students. And that feedback that you'll be getting will be a really important part of the learning that you'll be doing. Next question that we have, I have plenty of projects in mind. Are we divided to pick the right one, or do we have to do that by our own? Is there some kind of discussion? Cheryl, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I know many students, they hesitate because some may have several projects. What we always do from the very beginning when we have academic advising sessions with students is we really encourage students to interact from the beginning with other participants, be it in Slack, or as Tildy mentioned, get to know each other through your peer review so you can see who you might be interested working with, and of course, who you may not want to work with. So to get to know everyone, once you, I know in my cohort 7, they've created study groups, be it the North American study group, European, Asian study group. They meet up weekly or bi-weekly, and you can get to know each other. So people who may have several projects in mind, that you can kind of bounce your ideas off of your peers and see from them, what do you think would be a viable project to present during the team project phase?
Certainly. Another project related question is, how do we work on projects if we are in different countries? Isn't there a limitation to this? And I know Eddie and Tilda, you both have some thoughts on this. Seeing as Eddie, you're in Hong Kong.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the way it works. Tildy's in California, Eddie's in Hong Kong, Alejandra is in Bogota, Colombia, and Bali Harris is in Houston. We got up at 8 o'clock my time. Everybody was on the phone once a week. We did sidebar conversations when they worked. You just make it work. It's a miracle the way this thing works. You just get up and you're on the phone when you need to be. I promise you, it's a hoot. And you look forward to seeing each other. And I had to miss a couple of sessions. I had some other things, everybody did. But in the end, after the number of months that we're together, you put something together that's really special. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
And the most interesting thing is I'm in Hong Kong, Tildy is in California, and we schedule every week we meet at least 2 times to discuss our project and our progress. And then actually we have a WhatsApp group. If anything comes up, we just message each other. It's not difficult at all. And I want to tell the audience that in this program, even though everybody is online, we don't look at each other. I mean, we don't look at each other physically, but we meet almost every day with different people in the class, because we have a lot of interaction. Like we have a peer review in assignments. So we talk to our classmates, right? And then we have different projects and they talk about the project creation, like brainstorming ideas. We have a lot of different ways to talk with our classmates. So basically we have a very friendly, warm cohort. Yes,
right.
I believe
Eddie, there's another thing. It's here. Somebody wrote, what kind of support do we get after the course? You will have the greatest alumni experience you've ever had at HEC. The HIC Alumni Association is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. They have helped 3 of our members get jobs. One of our members just got a $250,000 a year job in Africa that he's dreamed about since he was a teenager. And we're all floored. It all came because he used his HEC alumni associate. He had like a buddy. So you can get as much support as you want from HEC ongoing, and the class sticks together like glue. We are together all the time, helping each other, looking out for each other. If you want the support, it's there. If you don't want it, that's okay. If you ever need it, you just pick up a phone.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tilde, because that is a question that we do get a lot, seeing as this is an online degree. Are the cohorts, are the classes less close? Is the alumni network less strong than an in-person degree? Which brings me to another question, which is, in the era of the pandemic, we are all online constantly. So it's natural that so many people feel fatigued by Zoom meetings, by being online. What was your experience with the online interface of Coursera and this concept of Zoom fatigue?
So I think it exists now only because the pandemic got so severe. We never felt like that as a group, and we actually polled all 70 some of us. We never had that experience. We were scared of the virus. We were scared of getting sick. We were never scared of being on Zoom with each other by a long shot. I think when you're working full-time on Zoom and then try to do the MSIE on Zoom, now you might get a little bit of the fatigue issue. The best thing to do is to take care of your well-being. Mark Beretta is the #1 professor at HEC when it comes to life-work balance, and he knocks it into you. You have to have time to work. You have to have time to go outside. You have to have time to develop yourself. So while Zoom fatigue might seem like a big issue now, I think you'll see it dissipate as the vaccines come in, we're allowed to go out again. There's some return to the old way of doing things. I think these guys will be in great shape in CA.
Great. Well, now we're at 5, so we'll just go quickly to final remarks.
Sorry,
oh, Eddie, go ahead.
Let me add one more point. Actually, Coursera is good. You can watch the video easily, and I want to share one thing. Because before we entered to this MSIE program, we always think, oh, what can we learn from this program? What will we get? But after we finish this program, we will say, what can we share? What kind of information, knowledge, spirit, network we can share? Because we are not just keep getting things. We want to share in order to help to build this community. So this is what we are right now. We are helping each other. Even though in the other cohorts, we also help them to get some investor or maybe a different network. So we in this community, we are helping each other. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for touching on that. We love how strong our alumni network is, and certainly how close you, Eddie and Tilde, your bond has made in your group. We had a question about the admissions criteria, which I've put on the screen. So it's a minimum of 5 years of professional experience, though typically we are looking for a little bit above that, and certainly some experience in managerial positions, a bachelor's degree, and then lastly, a strong command of both written and spoken English. Moving on to the deadlines, we have our next round closing on May 1st and then another on June 1st. So keep in mind that we have admissions juries that meet every week. And so we technically have a round of admissions that closes every week. If you'd like more information and if you'd like to start your application, I will be putting that link in the chat box, and you can always reach out to us by email that we'll also be putting in the chat box. And lastly, Eddie and Tilde are happy to hear from you. So if you didn't get any of your questions answered during the webinar today, please reach out to them. They will be happy to talk to you, answer any questions you may have. And these are their LinkedIns. Thank you so much for joining. And that concludes today's webinar.
Thank you very much. All the best.